And welcome back. This morning we're joined with three of the councillor candidates for the People's United Party who traveled all the way from out west, that's a lot of miles, to talk to us this morning about the upcoming municipal elections, which is only a couple of days away. We have Kevin Windsor, who's a council candidate. We have the only female on the slate, Miss Zoila Maria Palma Gonzalez.
Good morning.
And we have Mr. Javier Castellanos, who's no stranger to public life. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning, Belize.
And of course, before we start our interview, we do want our viewers to know that in the interest of having a balanced conversation, the United Democratic Party was invited to participate in our introductory interviews. Unfortunately, following their original acceptance, they withdrew from the particular session a couple days before. So we are proceeding with those who have confirmed with us. And this morning, we're also informed that the mayoral candidate for the People's United Party, Marconi Matos, is unfortunately sick with bronchitis. So the councillors will be talking about what you all hope you can do within the West if you win next week. So thank you for being here, and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So let me start off with finding out what prompted you to enter into the race, right? Let's start with you, Zoila.
Okay, well, I am a community activist in Santa Elena and San Ignacio. I'm well known for working with community organizations, a lot of non-governmental organizations. And we've been doing a lot of projects and a lot of positive things in our community, but I believe that being in public office and as a councillor with the town council, I would be able to assist more in my community.
Right, good morning. Well, as you all know, I served my country for over 24 years, so serving is nothing new to me. I am now happily retired in my little beautiful hometown of Santa Elena. And I have always liked serving the people. That is my sole purpose in life. Now that I have retired, I have more time, more space, and I'm also into youths, into sports, promoting and developing activities for youths and sport and social programs. I joined my colleague Zoila. We work along together. We have a good partnership working together, and now for me it's, hey, it's time to serve my town now, you know, big picture, small picture. So it's something that I really like doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes we talk a lot, you know, we go, this is happening, the next is happening, and don't do anything about it. Previously, or before deciding to get into politics, I saw this picture, I saw everything that was happening. I'm not a financial officer, no financial guru, but things are really bad. And just talking, not making a difference, so I decided to get in it, you know, to try to make a little change.
And having Mr. Matos as your leader in this particular campaign, was that an added incentive?
Yes, it was an added incentive. Mr. Matos is a former mayor, and among our team, we have him as a former mayor. We have a former deputy mayor, Mr. Arthur Smith. Then we have myself, I'm a former educator and a journalist now. And we have people of different expertise, different professionals with us. We have an IT technician, Elio Pulido. We have Mr. Floyd Lemos, the colonel. We have a great team. And I think that our biggest strength is that we have that overwhelming desire to serve the people of San Ignacio and Santa Elena towns.
Yeah.
That desire, though, desires don't translate politically. If everybody who really wanted to serve, served, or who deserved to serve, served, then we'd be a much better Belize now. Could you talk to us a bit of the demographics? How long has the current administration been in place?
Okay. The current administration, the incumbent UDP, has been in town council for 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years. Wow.
That's right.
I was about 5 that time.
Yeah. No, and it's a very important point. I wanted to get to that, so I'm glad you brought that up. You know, the People's United Party very clearly in San Ignacio, Santa Elena are seen as underdog. You know, it's called the Red Hills. We know they have some strong area representatives in that area, and we know that the municipal elections has weighed heavily in terms of the votes in favor of the UDP. Talk to me about, and San Ignacio Santa Elena is also the second largest municipality in terms of the number of voters. Yes. So you have a lot of ground to cover and a lot of people to convince. Tell me what your strategy is going into this campaign, understanding that, you know, people from outside looking in, it looks like it's a real challenge in front of you.
Yes, of course. We are talking about Santa Elena and San Ignacio, a population of voters of over 14,000.
Yes.
We have 3 constituencies within those municipalities. We have Cayo North, we have Cayo Northeast, and Cayo Central. And we have the strategy we have adopted. We have realized that what will occur on the day that the battleground will be Santa Elena. So we have been visiting all 3 constituencies. However, we realize that the San Ignacio is our strength and Santa Elena is our weakness. So we have dedicated our time to Santa Elena, and we put in a lot of work in Santa Elena. And we believe that we have not ignored San Ignacio, but definitely we have put a lot of time and effort and concentrated in Santa Elena.
Why is it that Santa Elena is a UDP stronger for the United Democratic Party? Because to me, more work is done in San Ignacio. When you cross the bridge, you see a couple more things done. Why is it that? Is it just family based? What accounts for that stronghold?
Well, I personally believe it's one of them is family based, and that is one of our objectives that we are telling the people of Santa Elena. Look, we have been abandoned for so long. Many of the projects, the infrastructure is dedicated to San Ignacio for quite some time. For many years, Santa Elena has been abandoned. So we are saying, hey, look, this is our town, Santa Elena, and it's not. Yes, it's San Ignacio and Santa Elena, but well, personally, me and Zoila, we take it with a passion because we live there, and we are being left behind, and we are telling people, hey, look, this is our opportunity. Let us work for our town, and we are being left behind. Let's catch up with the train.
And traditionally, it has been like that. That it has been, they call it twin towns, but it has been more for San Ignacio.
One is a gateway to the other.
Yes.
That's
right.
what it really feels like oftentimes. What is the response like when you do go out on your campaign? I'm sure we have a lot of traditional voters. In other words, families are a particular color and they just follow along that path without really making a choice. When you go out, do you go to the predominantly the houses that you know are aligned with the UDP? And what is the response that you're getting from the people?
Okay, we've been visiting every single family. We don't miss a house, regardless of the color. They could have the big flag, the big picture of Dean Barabas. We still go there. Why? Because they're all residents.
Do they let you in and talk to you?
Unbelievably,
Yeah.
we've had very, very good response. People welcome us at home. The time that we are actually campaigning would be afternoon, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the evening. Sometimes we sit down and have a little something with them, you know. The reception is very, very good. It's
And
most encouraging.
What are the issues that they're talking about?
The issues. That's a very good question. Let me get this here, please. We've been there 20 plus weeks, like I said, from house to house. And we based our campaign accountability and transparency. Not just because, oh, that was an idea that came up to us and that will help us win. We've been listening to the people, and that is the biggest cry. You could take a look at our manifesto.
So accountability in terms of they feel that the finances aren't, the resources aren't benefiting them.
Well, this present UDP Town Council, they've had 15 municipal fairs each year, right? And for the 15 municipal fairs, the residents of San Ignacio and St. Helena have no idea what have been made or what they have been spending it on. There's no financial report for none of the years. And I think that the public access to the finances of the council, they're lacking that. And we plan to implement an e-governance system where people would be able to access the financial statements of the council, you know?
What if I have to be argumentative and say, if the people of Santa Elena, San Ignacio, have not gotten accounts for 15 years, accounts are not important to them, would I be accurate?
I think that it's the people's money. So I think it's only right that we're able to account for it, you know. Even if it's in projects, in whatever it is that we're spending it, we should be able to account to the people how we're spending their money.
You know, a lot of people ask us the same question, you know, where does the town board or town council get the money? Because they've seen a roundabout here, roundabout there. Now that I'm into politics, I've realized that most of the money they're spending is Petro-Carib. We will be the ones responsible to pay all that spending, you know. But what actually has happened to the revenue they collect? Town board, the town council is autonomous. They collect revenues from trade license, vehicles, etc. What has happened to that money? That's what people are asking.
Also, the new town hall building, the residents, I mean, I don't know for sure who got the contract, what's the amount. They haven't made all that information public because they initially installed a sign with a construction company, and then when that went on social media and it exploded, they removed the sign. So I have no information on that.
Yeah.
The other issue that they bring up a lot is the demolition of the old town council. Yeah, it was all in a real bad state, but we understand that it was sold. You know, that's people's property. We should have been, well, the people are asking what happened, who bought it, for how much. Nobody knows. I've tried to get an answer, but
now I hear what you're saying in terms of people perhaps becoming more aware of how finances may be mismanaged and perhaps wanting a bit more clarity. But in terms of the everyday issues of the residents within the municipality, what are they talking about? I mean, I think Cayo is one of the top, San Ignacio is one of the top tourist destinations in this country. And by extension, the Cayo district. And we have seen where the tourism sector has invested within, especially within San Ignacio, just Burns Avenue and some of the signage, and ensuring that tourists and people who live there feel that they are in a destination that is important to the country. So are there any issues in terms of looking at how people benefit from these types of investments and the types of issues that affect them on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I agree that tourism is very important. It's vital to our both towns. There has been investment and infrastructure development in San Ignacio with regards to the tourism sector. However, it is very centric. It is just downtown, and this is cosmetics, what we see in San Ignacio and Santa Elena. That yes, you drive through a nice road entrance, a nice roundabout, you drive across a new bridge, and you go into San Ignacio downtown. But let's go beyond that. You know, tourists, we don't want to take tourists where we don't want them to see. There's so much more to see in San Ignacio. Cajalpech, one of the prime tourist destination in San Ignacio town. A road leading to Cajalpech is one of the worst roads in San Ignacio. So the drainage, this is what people complain about, the drainage, the basic necessities, the basic responsibility of the town council, the picking up of garbage, the cleaning of yards. It's a sore sight. We want to to beautify the town. We want to make it look welcoming to our visitors, especially for tourism. So many of these things might look good from the inside, but if you start going around and in and outside of the town, you get a different picture.
Okay.
Just to continue on that trend, things that look good on the outside. I'm from Belize City, okay. And when I go to Cayo, when I go to Santa Elena, San Ignacio, I see a couple things changing. There's a new bridge.
The welcome center.
There's a welcome center. There is a stadium. I mean, if I moved away to the States and I came back 15 years later, I could make a case that it's different, better different. How do you campaign, or how do you approach that mentality that, you know, it kind of is working? I mean, even cosmetically, it's working. And we probably don't want to change that. How do you campaign and speak to the voter who is saying, they're kind of okay. We're making baby steps, but it's okay?
I agree. However, this is national development. This is the responsibility of the government of the day to invest, to have new infrastructure. So these are the responsibilities of the government. We are growing slowly, yes, and any government in power would do the same and put in infrastructure and develop. And yes, you would see San Ignacio and Santa Elena looking a lot better, the cosmetics. However, if you go to Barrio Pobre in San Ignacio, you go to Santa Cruz and you go to Santiago Juan layout and Hillview, how the people live, that is you. The real people are not seeing the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Would you also say that the development that's happening there is not happening because of the municipality? Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with what's happening.
These are national projects.
These are national projects.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so they cannot claim those.
Exactly.
Well, I've seen a sign that says your tax money at work and has a big Bowen and Bowen clock. You know, propaganda, Coca-Cola. I don't know how, because it's a business.
That's interesting. Now, and you know, it's very clear, and I think we all around here know very clearly that some of these investments are made sometimes through grants, through loans, and they come through central government, through Ministry of Tourism, BDB. Not all, but I'm not quite sure sometimes that residents understand the difference. They just want to see a different community. Yeah. They just want to know that there's some type of improvement taking place. And so that's why I was asking in the real issues that seem to bother them, because from the outside, we may judge what we think people in Cayo need, what people in San Ignacio, Santa Elena need, but there is a difference between the people who are living in the Hillview area, in the Santiago Juan area, and what are the burning issues that they have been bringing to you. Obviously, it seems to be a theme for the People's United Party that you canvass and then put together your manifesto. So from what you have heard, what are you now committing to the people if they elect you come next Wednesday?
When it comes to unemployment, we have a large number of our youths unemployed. Mm-hmm. And we have a large number of our youths educated and unemployed. So what we plan to do is partner with skills training institutions like SET and other institutions, and have our young people trained, you know, in carpentry, in plumbing, in different areas, so that they can become independent and they can become entrepreneurs. Yeah. Yes, and we also plan to encourage businesses, because if we encourage growth in businesses instead of putting down this heavy hand on them when it comes to taxes, they will be able to create more employment for our people.
Yeah. One of the things that we have under the leadership of Mr. Marconi Matos, we have been going around. The initial team, as you're aware, we had a convention, and Mr. Marconi, Mr. Arturo Smith, and myself went out as mayoral candidates, and Mr. Marconi was successful, and immediately we joined hands together as a team. We conceded and accepted to work under his leadership, and then the team came together. And from the word go, we went out on the ground. The following week, we are out there on the ground, and what we have been with him 100%, and his idea is that going out to the people, we are not making promises that we cannot fulfill. And he always tells the residents that we are not promising castles in the sky. We are not saying they built a road, they built a bridge. We will do twice as much. We'll build schools, and those are national projects. We are looking at the very basic. The people are talking to us. We have a good rapport with the people. They are very open to us. It's been very, this campaign has been very promising for us. And we are basically telling them, what do you want? First 2 months, and this is what we came up with, our manifesto. And our thing is, our promises are not much. Do the very basic, the role and responsibility of the town council in accordance with the Town Council Act. The very basic, the drainage, the cleaning of yards, disposal, sanitation, health, hygiene. You know, we want to do what is, we want to focus on our role and responsibility. And of course, as Zoila had said, partner with the business community and other social partners and many programs for development. But we have to keep focus on the main responsibility of the town council.
You know, actually, my mind was going the opposite direction. Because after you've had, somebody's had, it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. You know, you've been with that person for that length of time.
That's right.
That to change that person from there, don't you have to come with something radical, out of the box? I know the last election, there was a very young candidate for your party, dynamic young man, but his swipe at it was uneventful. I mean, he almost got 2-1. So my question is kind of the converse. What radical, what different are you coming with this time to say, you know what, last couple of times, 4 times or 5 times, we didn't have this. Now we have this. Give us a try.
Oh, wow.
Yes, of course. Just to reiterate, it's a very strong team. Mr. Marconi is a seasoned politician, very seasoned politician. We have Turo Smith, a seasoned politician. We join hands together. We come from all walks of life, and we come with a desire to serve. To be servants of the people. We come here because we want to do it. We are putting ourselves, our names on the line. When we put our names on that ballot box, because we are serious that we want to make a difference. We want to make a change. So if we want to create an idea or a hook and capture you with that, and then we cannot achieve it, then we'll be out there.
Absolutely.
False promises. And that is exactly what we don't want to do.
We're being very realistic. Probably you as a visitor to San Ignacio say, oh, things look good. Yeah, it's true, like you said, it's all cosmetic. Downtown looks good. It's built that way to attract tourism. Coming back to the social program. Social life in San Ignacio, you could say it's good. There are a lot of bars.
Lots of restaurants.
A lot of restaurants. But who actually goes there? 5% of the populace? What about the 95? We have decided, we've talked with each other, you know, we need to bring things to attract this, like broken homes, and so people don't have anywhere to go on weekends. People don't have anything to do. Just TV. There's no shows. There's nothing. Now and then a football game. We have planned, you know, that we'll partner with the churches, different organizations, bringing stuffs, you know, to educate people, entertain people sanely. We lack that in San Ignacio real bad.
Family events.
Family, we're losing that family unity because of the same problem, you know.
Their focus is less on the business side of it and more so on the people and family core development.
We have a lot of social issues in San Ignacio. You go around, it's heartbreaking, you know. You see a lot of young guys drinking, I think bombita, what they call it. That's a problem that we need to address. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas that we try to discuss as much as possible. We recognize that it varies, but when we talk about young people and their involvement in politics at this point in time, and I'm talking new voters, your tertiary level students, in fact, I believe it was Sacred Heart. It was the student government from Sacred Heart who said that they ran on the premise of not calling themselves the government. They called themselves a student union because nobody wanted to participate in a student government election. And that says a lot about how young people, tertiary level students, feel about our governance system. So what has been your reach with the youths within the area? Have they registered to vote? Are they interested to vote? Are they even concerned with who is running at this time? Talk to us about what your strategy has been with the new voters coming in.
The youths, it's a new generation.
Millennials.
Yes,
rough.
millennials, that's right. Gone are the days where you'd vote PUP or UDP because your grandmother and great-grandparents were. It's a new scenario. It's crazy. We are involved, well, in Santa Elena in trying to get the youths registered. And it's a difficult process.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I will register, come back tomorrow, and they seem kind of hesitant.
Just a lack of interest?
A lack of interest, probably disillusion with governance. And they are now more exposed, they are more educated, the social media, and they are the ones that are difficult to get through, the youths. And we speak to them a lot, and now we have mid-age population and an elderly population, which is overwhelmed by the youths. And the youths, we need to get that hook, that net to catch and bring them in. And it's a difficult challenge for the young people nowadays. So we are indeed faced with the challenge of the youths, and many of them are undecided, and they're undecided, and that makes our job more difficult to get through positive response from the youths.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about some of the positives of Cayo for your party, which, if you look at the numbers, there's been a lot of political activity in Cayo. There's a by-elections.
Yes.
But when you look at the numbers-wise for the entire district of Cayo in Belmopan, I'm going to start all the way from Belmopan, there seemed to have been a narrowing of the gap. We've had the successful election of Mr. Julius Espat, who's a PUP powerhouse right at the outside of your municipality. We've had the return of a seasoned PUP politician in Dan Silva, a juggernaut in his own right. And then we've had, even in terms of the margins that you're looking at, what encourages you the most to say that we're looking, and the other thing I might say as well, is that there is a lot of activity with the younger voters that you saw in the by-elections. What are the positives that make you think that, you know, this time we have the best shot possible?
I've been talking to a lot of young people. I consider myself still young. You know, and like he said, their mentality is not like PUP, UDP thing. To the most that I speak, they want justice. They know there's been a lot of injustices from the government, squandering of money, things. They say, man, you guys will give it a chance. You go there, do something about it. They know that thanks to the teachers, this bill was passed and came into law. That people will have, politicians, right, will have to answer someday. And probably that's
the main thing we're hearing from the youths. They are more aware, like he said, they're more aware, and because of that fact, they know what's happening in government, and they're informed. So they want to know what the PUP will do about it. You know, that's one of the questions that they ask a lot. What will you do about it, you know?
Yeah.
Right, and as you quite rightly said, that the political aspect has changed. We see it, I believe we have a new leadership, a vibrant leadership. The PUP has awakened. It's no longer a sleeping giant, it's awakened. So that has made changes. As aware, Cayo North, Misho Shebat narrowed the margin after the by-election. He has been into the homes of Cayo North doing an excellent job. The Red Hills are no longer red, right?
They're purplish right now.
That's right, that's right. Cayo North is controlled by Honorable Lande Habet in Cayo Central, Cayo Northeast, sorry. In Cal Central, we have the powerhouse, Dan Silva, who has been there in doing a great job and looking after the people and working after the people. Cal Central is one of the biggest constituencies. Yes. We have, nine villages, nine, correct? And Santa Elena. So there's lots of work that has been going on in both San Ignacio and Santa Elena, politically for the PUP, and it looks promising.
And I think one of the other issues is the dependency. A lot of people want to get out of that culture. I think that politicians have created a culture of dependency. For example, if you need a job or if you want to join any public office, and then they ask you for a recommendation from your area representative. So I wouldn't be able to get a job even if I'm qualified, because I wouldn't get a recommendation. And I think that the young people, they're tired of that. We've met several of them that say that, for what am I getting qualified if I still have to go and beg for something so that I can get a job?
So, come March 7th, let's say you are able to convince the people of San Ignacio and Santa Elena that you are the best fit for leadership of the municipality. What is your priority? What is the first thing you want to get in office to be able to accomplish?
The first thing that we plan to do when we get in office is a full financial audit of the council, so that we know exactly where the council stands in terms of the financial aspect, and from there we can move forward with our projects and plans.
Yeah, we'll audit the whole place. Actually, we have people that have offered themselves, you know, we're going to do this because of heart, no money involved. So it's something positive for the residents of both towns, you know.
It is absolutely important to understand where your finances are, but my question is, if you're elected and you do engage in your audit, one of the things that I think we really need to work on in this country, and we hear more and more from the young people, is the issue of bipartisanship. It's letting go of color. An election, yes, wear your color, but once you're in office, you are there for the people. What's your approach in terms of being able to have a bipartisan approach in how you manage the municipality? And especially if you go into an audit, sometimes that it's like, or public accounts committee, it's like going back and let's talk about what everybody else is doing wrong instead of focusing on what we can do right.
We've all agreed, we've had meetings about that, and we've agreed that, because in the past, it has some years ago that we had our town hall building and it had the UDP flag, on it. And now we have our own, that the PUP town board created. We have our own municipal logo. And what we've decided, we've met and we've said that once we win the March 7th elections, you know, when the polls close and the votes are counted and we become the new town council, we'll no longer be in this blue shirt and will no longer be, we are going to be servants of everybody, all the residents of San Ignacio and Santa Elena. Because we've been elected to serve everybody, you know, because I like the question, because a lot of people say, well, when UDP gets in, only UDP streets get fixed, when, you know, and a lot of people ask that. So I think that we've all agreed that we're going to be... Or we see the
undoing of work that was progressive.
Exactly. So what we are saying is continue the development. We won't see colors anymore. We will start, first of all, one of our plans is, if approved, of course, we have to be in line with the Town Council Act. First of all, we'll go into, the dry season is approaching, we'll go into prioritize which drains, which roads need to be fixed. That is our priority. It's not who lives there or red or blue lives there. That's one of our priorities. Continue developing ongoing projects. Then we plan to have instead of having a traffic department, we want to have a sort of like a municipal police who will do the traffic wardens, who will probably assist the security for the local or national police. And continue the work for everyone. We'll open doors, and Mr. Marconi Matos has promised that he will not be hiding from the people. And that is one of the cries. When you get into power, we can't see you. And we are committed that we will make ourselves available to the people of San Ignacio and Santa Elena.
Come March 8th, no blue. Why? General elections is right around the corner. It could be called anytime. We don't have to wait the 5 years, no.
Yeah.
So if we're given the chance, immediately we'll start working with the people that we will go back to and ask for the support come general elections.
My final question is, when you look at the makeup of this team, you have past mayor, past deputy mayor, you have in yourself somebody who has run the entire country in terms of the military, and you look at the pieces that you guys put together. Isn't the expectation level particularly high? Because I mean, if you get in, man, this is someone ex-general, this is someone ex-mayor, and they must know what they do.
That's right.
How do you expect, if you are successful, to meet that expectation? And what qualities do you believe that the team has that allows them to meet it?
Okay. Listen, money moves the world. It's unfortunate. And town council's finances come through taxes, right? Definitely not be like harassing people to get their taxes paid. And so we have a plan that we'll meet with people that have outstanding debts. We have a very, very good incentive for them. We'll come and work with them one-on-one. Come with us. Let's see what we can do. Work out things. You're happy, I'm happy.
Well, this is a powerful slate. I am still amazed at how we came up with this slate. And there are expectations. And because it is a powerful slate, our opponents are concerned at this moment. Not to say the previous slate 3 years ago was not a good one, not to undermine them. However, as you said, they had a young candidate. We have seasoned, we have a mixture of everything. So we have a powerful slate, and expectations are high. So we need to meet the expectations of the people, and that's the reason why we know what is expected of us, and we are committed to serving the people, because we know that, as Kevin said, if we are given this opportunity, first of all, general elections are around the corner. Or if we are given this opportunity, especially youths are telling us, we'll give you that opportunity, and if you go there and let us down, we will remove you from there. So we know what we are facing too, right?
Yeah.
So
we will divide the council into sections, and each individual will have his area to work on, to facilitate, and probably the mayor will be overseeing our work. I guarantee you, if I'm given the opportunity, man, to work on streets or whatever, I will get there, I will be there, I'll do that, because I will need from the people again for general election. So.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in this morning. We appreciate it. And of course, we know you had to travel very early, so we know we're grateful for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before you cut off, I would just like to ask the people from Santa Elena, San Ignacio, come on, give us a chance.
Please.
Please.
We're humbly asking for an opportunity to come out and vote for the PUP 17 on March 7th.
And thanks very much to Mr. Daniel Silva, to Mr. Elani Habet, to Mr. Misho Shebat, who have been with us throughout from day one. And also thanks very much to our campaigners who have been there working hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
And get well soon to Mr. Matos.
Right, Mr. Matos, recover.
We're going to go ahead now and take our break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by representatives of UB to talk about their new transformational plan.